Hello and welcome to Informavores. Here are some of today's top headlines. Oprah interviewed Sarah Palin, but we won't see the interview until November 16th. Palin was there to plug her new book, Going Rogue in American Life, already slated at number 4 on Amazon.com, even though the book will not be released until November 17th. A Colorado insurance company refused to cover a 22-pound 2-year-old, claiming she was too small. A mere week ago, a 17-pound 4-month-old from Colorado was also denied coverage, but for being obese. The media is still making up for covering the Balloon Boy hoax designed to get media coverage by continuing to cover the Balloon Boy hoax. The Yankees rolled past the Angels in Game 4 of the World Series, and Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi will not back away from getting a public option on the health reform bill. 240 bags of rock salt have been sent thus far by conservatives to the Washington, D.C. office of Senator Olympia Snowe of Maine, after she voted with Democrats to approve the Senate Finance Committee's health reform bill. A conservative blogger asked his readers to send the salt, posting the question, "What melts snow? Rock salt." Coming up on Informavores, calorie limits on school lunches, plans call for nearly 800 state employees to be laid off, Democrats literally lock out Republicans, and $250 for every senior citizen in America. All this and much, much more coming up on Informavores. Hello and welcome to Informavores. I am Alex Schumann.
I'm Ryan Jones.
And this is Marcus Ribbentrop. All right, now we're going to get straight into our first topic here today, and that would be budget cuts. Okay, now there's... Which is not new news for the state of Iowa. But what is new is that the state will be laying off 791 workers. And go, Marcus, could you explain this story for a second? I need to bring it up.
Yeah. The state of Iowa, I'm trying to think where, there it is. Coming from news last week when Governor Culver had, or was it last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever, announced 10% across the board reduction in budgets for all states, all state departments. They're just now starting to work out the details of how this is going to work. The Attorney General is who this story is about. Their office is planning to deal with their share of their 10% reduction by increasing furloughs, which it's a common word now, but in case you haven't heard it, it's just an unpaid day off. So to meet their budget concerns, they're going to make members take between 13 and 14 furlough days between now and the end of the budget year, June 30th, 2010. So they're saying that that they should be able to, by doing these furloughs, they should be able to not have permanent layoffs or any kind of job loss in that area. One thing already is that they're already not scheduled to work the 24th and 31st of December for Christmas and New Year's respectively. And instead of that being a paid 8-hour day off, they're just going to take that as a furlough day. And depending on how much you make at the State Department in the Attorney General's department is how many days off you're going to have to take. So, like, I think people making over $50,000 have to take 2, and people over $80,000 have to take 3. So, what do you guys think about that?
Well, I would say that, I mean, in regards to, are you asking whether or not there should be furloughs and layoffs?
Well, I guess my biggest question is, what do you think of specifically the Attorney General in this case saying that we're not going to fire anybody, we're not going to cut anyone's hours, we're just going to say everybody's going to take the force for this, we're all going to take furloughs and we'll all keep our jobs. What do you think? Do you think is that a better plan than just saying one or two people lose their jobs and everyone else gets to continue getting their pay?
Yeah, I think it works out. I think it's a better plan. And it's a little bit more equal. I mean, everybody's taking the hit as opposed to, well, we're just going to pick 2 people that we've deemed more unnecessary, which would probably first be custodial staff or something like that is where you'd begin to make cuts. But
right.
I agree with it.
What about you, Ryan?
I actually agree completely with what Alex said. I have nothing more to add.
Okay, well then, I guess the real thing that I'm getting to is that if they're going to continue, they talked about this is a 10% reduction in their budget, and it's going to go farther than that, possibly, as the Governor Culver had said a week or two ago.
Yeah.
If this whole budget shortfall is going to continue, they're going to keep making people take furlough days, and it gets up to 30 or 40 days. Are you gonna? I mean, this is all hypothetical. I mean, if it gets upwards of 20, 25, I mean, are you gonna? Is it become more beneficial for you to let some of these people go, move some more people to part time? I mean, because once you have people not in the office for 30 days, you start cutting service.
It depends on what situation, like what the institution is, I think, because if you get into, for instance, I know the faculty of UNI, this is news just either from today or yesterday, is considering a shorter semester, and so it's technically that would be a furlough, because I think just everybody's just going to leave early. And I think when you're getting into educational institutions, it might be worth making some actual layoffs as opposed to shortening people's education. I mean, we're paying more. We should not get less for a higher price. So in that situation, cut. But go ahead, Ryan.
I'd go universally. When you're getting up to 30, 40 days, you're going to start losing inefficiency when you could just cut like 1 or 2 people and make that up.
See, that's my biggest thing. So, I mean, right now, 13 and 14, I mean, that's 2 weeks. So keep in mind that it's not unheard of people to have 2 weeks of paid vacation and then 2 weeks of furlough. So, I mean, you're already missing about a month's worth of work for each individual. And my concern is that it's going to keep snowballing into the fact that you're going to be closed for a whole month at a time because you're having so many furlough days. And I agree with you guys. I think at that point it's more efficient, whether it's, it's maybe not good PR and it sucks people losing their jobs and everything, but at that point it's more efficient for a State Department to say, hey, we're going to have to let you go so everyone else can keep working and keep this department functioning.
Well, the Department of Corrections, this is what worries me. KCCI did a breakdown of the numbers, and the Department of Corrections cut 515 jobs and then is not going to fill 262 vacancies. And when it comes to departments like that, where I would say the staff is rather important, considering I'm assuming there are some guards included in this 515.
I think that's logical.
Yeah, there can't be that many janitors. That starts to worry me. I mean, I don't know how you make up for that. I don't know what you do in that situation. But when it comes to prisons and the corrections, everything related to public safety, this is when budget cuts start to get scary to me. Education is also bad, like we talked about in the last episode. But seeing this substantial of a cut from the Department of Corrections is a little frightening.
Yeah, I mean that's just the whole thing that I'm trying to get at with this article is that you gotta weigh efficiency of losing service versus keeping people's jobs. You have anything to add to that, Ryan?
No, I think you guys covered it pretty well.
Okay. I got one more thing on this one. Do you think it's possible, as we said, it's a 10% reduction across the board, so that means, a 10% reduction in small departments is going to be a lot different than education. Education took a huge blow from this.
Yeah.
So do you think that the departments that have such huge amounts to cut are going to be able to get through this with just furloughs, or are they going to have to lay people off?
I think they're going to have to lay some people off because with departments huge, they can't run efficiently with just saying, no, don't come today. No, you don't come today. You're going to have to lay some people off. And with a few layoffs, they'll be able to work efficiently, but not with people missing every day.
Right. I mean, anything to add to that, Alex?
No, I agree. I mean, I just agree. There's nothing else I can add there. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I don't know. You guys what do you got next on the block for us there, Alex?
All right, so Wisconsin is going to ban texting
while driving.
While driving, excuse me.
Yeah, nope, not just in general.
Text. You just can't do it. But